Hello and welcome to the Porcelain Dawn channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing Golden Sun by Pierce Brown. So, this is the second book in the Red Rising trilogy. The first book, which I've already reviewed on my channel, was called, surprisingly, Red Rising, and I really enjoyed it. So I had a lot of trepidation going into this. I was really looking forward to it, but at the same time, it had a lot to live up to. Anyway, let's get into the review. So, the setting of this book is in the wider solar system. You know, the first one takes place at an academy on Mars. No, sort of a proving ground, if you will, on Mars. And then very quickly, this book goes into the wider world. You know, it starts off at the academy where they're learning to command starships and things like that. And then it gets bigger and bigger, and you see more of the solar system, more of the factions in play. In terms of the story itself, it starts off, as I said, with Darrow being a student. Darrow, the main character, with Darrow being a student, and then it quickly, you know, he goes down, he goes up, and then he goes down, and he goes up, and it becomes, you know, just like the first one, somewhat of a roller coaster. Again, we're dealing with unreliable narrator, and I'm not talking about the unreliable narrator in the sense that he tells us stuff that might not be true. In this case, he doesn't tell us stuff. It's written from the point of view of Darrow, and you hear his thoughts, you hear what ideas he has. But then things come up that he knows that we aren't privy to, and that's a device the author uses to sort of trick you, to manipulate your emotions. And it is sort of I don't want to say cheap trick, but it is a trick. But I really enjoy it. You know, I'm here for it. I fall for it, and I feel like it was well done. There's one part in this book. I'm going to try not to go through any spoilers for anybody who's watching this who hasn't read the book. There's a part where you feel like Darrow is heading towards disaster. Several parts, but there's one specific part I'm talking about where you feel like he's heading for disaster, and then you find out that actually he had it all under control. But the way you're leading up to it, and remember, it's from Darrow's point of view, as I said, it makes you feel like he feels like he's going towards disaster. But then out of his pocket, he pulls out the fact that he's actually, you know, completely in control. But he doesn't tell us, even though he knows. He doesn't think about it, sort of, even though he knows. So it builds up the tension and then pulls the rug from under you. It really sort of leaves you shocked, which is the intention of the author. And I think it's a really enjoyable trait that he uses in his writing. And yeah, spoiler alert, this book is excellent. You know, it's so good. This Iron Rain is a concept that's just amazing. Superhuman, genetically engineered specimen falling from the sky to declare war, falling on a city. It's amazing. It's epic. It's completely epic, this book. It does grow into more of a space opera, more of a nuanced political drama. I say nuanced. It's not very, it's a little bit political and a lot spectacular. A lot of violence, really visceral violence. Yeah, and the ending is just, it's just wild. You don't see it coming. You don't see it coming, or I didn't. Maybe I'm just sort of stumbling through the book blindly, but I did not see the end coming. And as soon as you get to the end, you rush to pick up the next one because you just have to do it. And this book is really a page turner. I read it, I think, in, yeah, like the first one, maybe even shorter, 18 hours, 24 hours. I sat, I hit it, and I got through it fast. It's a quick read. It's not very dense in terms of prose. It's the same as the first one in the terms of the prose is very just very simple, not in a negative way, just in a way that just allows you to get carried along in the story. Yeah, but the pacing is wild. It's wild. There's ups, there's downs. It's very cinematic. even more than the first one. It's just the set pieces that he writes in are really just bombastic and exciting and edge of your seats. You're on tenterhooks for most of the book. The character work in this book I found was a lot, not a lot better, but yeah, maybe a bit better. He got into more depth with a lot of the characters like Goblin, Jackal, Darrow. Tactus had a great book. This was a great book for Tactus. Not completely, but in terms of his character work, it was really enjoyable. Victra, also, who was a sort of a bit part player in the first one, she's very interesting in this. Cassius had a nice turn in this too that was very enjoyable. And then, of course, Ragnar, the painted obsidian, a monster, not in the derogatory sense, but a really intimidated special character that when you come in, you sort of, wow, who's this guy? And he just carries that on throughout the whole book. Yeah, in case you can't tell from my tone, I really enjoyed this. I thought it was an improvement from the first one. Not because the first one was bad in any way. If you've seen my review, you know I loved it. It's just that this one, it's grown and the stakes are bigger. So it makes every nuance more weighted, you know. Every success is more dramatic. Every failure is more dramatic. It's breathtaking. And it's just a really, really fun read. So I hope you read it. I hope you like it. If you have read it and you didn't like it, please let me know down below why. I can probably guess a few reasons, but I'd really like to hear it because whilst it's not Shakespeare, it's a great, great book. It's a great, and books are a medium of entertainment, and I feel that this book is incredibly entertaining. So read it. Read the first one, read this one, like this video, let me know what you think, and let me know if there's anything else you'd like me to review. I look forward to reading the third one. I cannot wait, and giving you a review for it. So until then, take care. Bye bye.